that's fine. You can just leave it in there. I think we're ready to move on to the next part, if that's okay.
Yep.
Okay, guys. Can you quiet down and pay attention to me now for a second? Thank you. So now we're going to look at the fingerprints while the chromatography finishes up, while it's sitting or still in the alcohol. It doesn't matter to me. Again, it's all based on what you guys want to do. I mentioned this at the extravaganza that I was going to put up example prints of all kinds online. Have any of you guys looked at those yet? Yeah? That gives you kind of an idea of what a suspect print would look like. It's all like blurry or obscured, and what a normal one would look like. So take a look at those if you haven't already. It'll give you an idea of the kind of things that you could see on the test. Okay, so we're on to fingerprints. The crime scene investigators, they found 2 suspicious partial fingerprints on the doorknob. And they're partial fingerprints, so it looks like the person who did it tried not to leave them. But we'll take a look at them. Here's a picture they took at the crime scene. And now, if you look at your fingerprints packet, you'll see this picture. So why don't we look into the fingerprints packet and compare the prints found at the crime scene to all of these prints. Now this is kind of scary, right? There's a ton of fingerprints to look at. Now I'll give you a hint. If you look at the partial prints, you'll notice that there are lines through the fingerprints, which means that the person has like some sort of cracks in their fingers or something. Why don't we start by looking for a suspect where all their fingerprints have those? And now, how about you guys all just take a look at those and raise your hand when you think you know who it matches, and when you think you know what fingers they come from. I'll give you a few minutes.
This is so exciting. Doing great. Do you like my goggles?
Yes. A lot of people saying
I've seen 3 groups. Turquoise, there's one in the gray hoodie over there, and then these 2 girls over here.
Okay.
That's kind of a big order I've seen. But they're the only 3 that like raise their hands. Yeah. Give them like 5 more seconds.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'll check it out and see how I get.
Okay.
Okay, so raise your hand if you think you know which suspect matches and which fingers match. Raise your hand if you still want a minute or so to look at them. I'll give you another minute, okay? But I'll also show you something that'll make it really obvious. Yes? On the test, you guys only have to know which suspect. I'm just asking for the finger so I know that you guys can't actually see where it matches. Yeah. It's really impressive. Can you grab me another fingerprint? Sure.
You want to see what they see?
Yeah.
They're pretty cool. I'm Taylor Swift. Those are my fingers.
Who did everybody else?
It was me, Shane's mom, Shane's dad, and Marshall. Shane's mom.
I'm Iggy as English.
Shane's mom is Charlie XCX. Who's your dad? Sia. Who's Marshall?
Megan Trump.
Super bass. That's not the right one. Yes.
I'm guessing that one of these at the bottom are either your dad or Marshall. That one or that one.
Yes. Yeah. That's a great question. I can give you different fingerprints from two different suspects maximum, but I will not put them right next to each other like that. I'll make sure it's two separate fingerprints that they found in two separate spots. That just makes sense. That's how they would find it at a crime scene anyway.
Are we taking this thing out after?
Yeah.
Okay.
How far did it go?
Oh, it's pretty far. Yeah, it's really cool.
What's the time?
Not yet.
I'll let you know. After parts.
Give me a warning, I might be in the wrong.
Make sure.
Dramatic.
Yeah. A nice ECU. Would be great.
I have to get that chocolate and everything out here.
Oh, I don't know.
Alright, are you guys ready, you think?
We used to when we came
Do
here.
you
They
have an
make us
idea of
coffee.
who it is? Because I'll show you exactly where you can find it in a second. Alright, now who can tell me, raise your hand, the suspect, just the suspect. How about in the pink bag? Yes, suspect 2. Now who can tell me the two fingers that it came from? I see a gray sleeve up in there back there.
Right, middle, left thumb.
Did you say right, middle, left thumb, or left? That's really close. I think you got one of them right, but we're gonna let people guess until we get both of them right. Okay. You back there? Not quite. How about you?
Left thumb and left index.
You got one of them right. We got left index. Now, who knows the other one? Has to be one that hasn't been guessed yet. How about you?
You know.
In the blue. Yeah, you. Not the right middle there. If you think about it, if I put two partial prints next to each other, it's probably going to be from the same hand. It's a pretty good guess if they found them on a doorknob. How about you? I'm sorry, what? Left thumb, you said? Left index and left thumb? Oh, left middle. Well, good, because that's the right answer. Okay, so they come from the left index and left middle. Now, fingerprints can be really challenging, and I expect them to probably be one of the hardest parts of the test. So don't feel discouraged if you can't figure them out yet. And it's also worthy to mention that the left middle and left index fingers are right next to each other, and that's probably how you would open a door. So I have a little animation to show you what's going on.
My God.
Oh, or didn't work. Here, go back. Go back.
You know what did work?
It did?
Alright, so does everyone kind of see where it comes from now? That's kind of like the thought process I go through when I look at these.
Can you do one more time?
Sure. And just to let you know, all of the material from the workshop's going to be online, so don't worry about like taking videos and stuff. You'll be able to see it online. Alright, so I think we're ready to pick out who gets implicated by the fingerprints. Does that sound right? Yeah. So now I'm sorry. Just the suspect is good. That's all you'll be asked for. On your answer sheet, it's about the same as what it's going to look like on the test. Really similar. Alright, so far we found suspect 2's powder at the crime scene and her fingerprints. It's not looking good for her. But we also found a partial shoe print at the crime scene. So why don't we take a look at those? And this one's really easy.
Oh yeah, kids already know. I would have been like, what age offer?
Alright, how about, how many do you think you know what happened? How about we all say it together? Yes.
Yay!
And if you're still confused, a little behind, I have another animation. That's what happens.
Are those your actual footprints too? Oh my god.
I know.
So who does that implicate? Yes, Iggy. So now we're a little torn because we found stuff from Charlie XCX and stuff from Iggy Azalea at the crime scene. So that's why you don't want to jump the gun and pick a suspect before the end of the test. We also have a tire print that was found in front of the house. Who knows if this means anything, but it's worth checking because I'm sure a ton of people drive by the house. So that's supposed to say tire prints, but you get it. Let's look at the tire prints.
It probably was. We all wanted it.
We all know she wanted it most.
What?
We all know you wanted it most.
Yeah, I secretly stole it. So it looks like a lot of you already know what it is. Why don't you raise your hand if you figured it out by now? Good job. So how about all together we say the suspect number? Yes, good job. So I have another animation if you're still a little confused. You'll be able to see where it comes from. So is everyone on the same page now? Cool. And it's also worth mentioning at this point, the tire print might not be from a car. It could be from anything that has wheels, any vehicle that has wheels, I should say. It could be a bike, could be a skateboard, it could be a shopping cart. It could be anything. It could be a tank.
It could be a tank.
Not that I have access to that. Okay, so we already said that we picked Taylor Swift out. It was her tire tracks that were in front of the house. So now we're getting kind of worried, like, how many people did this crime, right? Now we're ready to take out the chromatograms. Take it out carefully.
Not you.
I was waiting.
Hold on, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Need a much better angle. You're going to do it very slowly and dramatically.
All right.